Hey guys, Matt Sayers here, and today's a bit of a weird episode for the podcast, for the Anime vs. Reality podcast, because for the first time ever, for the first anime ever, I'm all alone in this story coverage. But today, we're going to be hopping in to the anime Charlotte. Just give me a quick moment, I want to check something on my phone. I love to keep up with anime birthdays. And as of recording this, tomorrow is actually Kechi Maebara's birthday. I think from Higurashi. Still gonna cover the new version of Higurashi. I will be bringing Bailey back for that anime. But let's get into Charlotte. I'm gonna be covering the first 4 episodes, where our story starts at the infamous Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. I didn't even have to look it up to know it was the Shibuya crossing. I actually had to look up the name of it, because it's not one I know just off the top of my head a lot of times. And our main character is standing there just thinking to himself about who he is. And he thinks of the words, I think, therefore I am. Which is the first philosophy of Rene Descartes. I don't know how to pronounce the name. But he's a person that sees himself in other people, and he looks up at the sky to see a comet in the night sky. It is a very prominent comet as well. It's there's no stars, it's just the comet through the air. It's such a beautiful shot to start off with. Anyways, during the day, a student is passed out in the street for some reason. And an old lady's also confused about herself. Yeah. And turns out our character from the opening could actually take over someone for only about 5 seconds. And at the same time, his own body loses consciousness. So he just becomes just a pile of meat. Essentially. Meat and bones. The person he possesses has to be within his line of sight, which is a bit of a weakness, and is shown while, he looks at a schoolgirl's chest area. There's no other way of really being polite about it. The most polite word I wrote was breasts, because that is the technical term. He says he can't use it for lewd things. Yep. Oh, he managed to find lewd for 5 seconds, though. And he also uses his power to make bullies punch each other in the face and stuff like that. Ultimately, though, he ends up using his power to cheat on tests. He wants to go to the top. He wants to be the smart one in the room. Yet he doesn't even study. He just cheats. And he even cheated his way through cram schools using joke glasses of all things. It's you got the fake eyes and the fake nose glasses. And since he's top of the class, he has to give a speech to all the students. But he's able to bluff his way through it. He's a really good, liar. Happy with his top ranking, he doesn't see anyone recording him with a video camera. It's just see someone with a recording camera. It's they got grey hair. In class, Yu receives a sudden email from a female student named Sugimoto, who wants to meet you behind the school building after school. You brushes Sugimoto's ask of a date off with the excuse of needing to study to keep his grades up. His thoughts show how bad he is by thinking he would never choose someone like Sugimoto, because although his eye is on the most popular girl in the school, Yumi Shiranagi. I probably never gonna try to pronounce that name again, or like the full version of that name again, because. But so you creates a situation using his ability wherein he gets to save Yumi from a swerving truck, and will also make sure her friend Michon is absolutely safe. It's like, at least this guy has the wherewithal to protect anyone else in this situation. He just does it in the weirdest way. He's like, he takes Yumi to the nurse's office because I think it was like her ankle was twisted, or like it wasn't her leg was broken, it was like twisted. And over at the nurse's office, Yumi tries to invite you to join herself and Michon in eating pancakes, but you was ready for this, and he's like, nah, I gotta go study. But it's like, and Yumi's like, Michon sees that Yumi is actually interested in you, so she she does like the whole like fake phone call thing, like yeah, and excuses herself from the situation so that you would have to go with Yumi to have pancakes. And also, again, someone's capturing this on a video camera. We still don't know the person behind the video camera. So over at the cafe, Yumi shows herself to be a pancake and syrup fiend, because she knows how to lay it out. Like, you take the syrup and you spread it across all the pancakes, and then you restack it, and that's how you maximize sugar intake and speedrun diabetes. Yumi recognizes a song playing by Hara Hara, which is the nickname for the band Hello Hello. Yumi wants to do something like the meal they just the two of them have left the cafe, and Yumi wants to do this again some other time, and you also expected this to happen. And later on in class, Yu's big mistake is that he does his villainous laugh out loud, where it's just like, inside voice you, inside voice you, Otsasaka. And he was going to go meet with Yumi to do something else with her, but then Yu gets called to the student council room to retake the aptitude test due to an accusation of cheating on the test. Apparently the vice principal and the vice principal have given the authorization of this, so if Yu leaves, he'll be expelled from the school. Once again, Yu uses his ability. You see his overseers looking at some delicious, but to make things worse, he's caught on video camera possessing and tearing up the smut. The person with the video camera is now Tamori. First time we meet her with her video camera. Probably her number one possession. A student council president from another school. She has caught you using his ability in many situations, including cheating on tests. She even exposes his lie of a sleeping disease by having his medical records on it. How do you prepare for that exact situation? On cue. Running out of the room, he bumps into another student. He's like, obviously he's running because sense of danger and stuff like that, bumping into another student. It's just like, whoops. Out by the school gate, Yu tries to get Yumi to run with him, but she falls over. It's like, damn lady, you can't run. The other student checks out Yumi is okay before chasing down Yu with his super speed, literally crashing into walls. And what happens here? It's like, it doesn't make sense with the ability he says he has later on, because this student tackles Yu so hard, it literally is just like off some stairs into the air, and Yu gets used like a skipping stone. It is like Yu literally just gets like on the water. The student says his ability is teleportation, but no. Teleportation isn't gonna launch someone into the air like that. I'm sorry. It's going to be super speed or teleportation. Teleportation doesn't work like that because teleportation would be like you go from one point to another instantly. Maybe it's like where he looks is where he stops. But later on, it's really looking more like he's got super speed over teleportation. Sort of like Ruby Rose from Ruby, but less controlled. Anyway, so now it shows up to say they plan to transfer Yu over to Hashinomi Academy, now school, since he's not the only person with a special ability. However, the special skills are only found in adolescence and disappear as they grow up, so it's kid superheroes, basically. Yu tries to attack now, but she uses her invisibility to dodge and kick Yu to the ground. Of course, Now's ability comes with the caveat of only being able to hide from one target at a time. Now also wants you to join the school council because of how useful his ability is to them. By threatening others that abuse of their powers, like abusing their powers no good. Like, there might be someone out there that's like really evil and wants to use their ability for evil. And it's just like, no, we gotta threaten them into good. Don't use your ability. Anyway, so after that craziness, Yu returns home to his little sister, Ayumi, who is shocked to see that he is beaten up. She has learned from her uncle that she and Yu are transferring into Hoshinomi Academy as scholarship students. Pretty decent thing. Ayumi doesn't mind having to transfer because it's the age of smartphones. I love that. It's like, Yu's just like, but won't you miss your friends? We have smartphones, we can literally talk to each other face to face. So, and like this anime did come out in 2015, so that actually makes a lot of sense. Also, I want to note, I write down notes. Hoshinomi Academy is actually located in the fictional city of Yagetsu City of Tokyo. It's not a real place, but I feel like there's some inspiration from parts of Tokyo, maybe. Hey, Ayumi has prepared dinner for you, the character, and it's omurice, which you is not interested in. It's also very sweet because of the pizza sauce, showing that Ayumi is not good in the kitchen. Well, I do have to correct that she is good in the kitchen. She just uses pizza sauce way too much. Ayumi wanted to try her mum's omurice recipe, causing you to have a reaction of annoyance at the mention of mum, because she essentially abandoned both her kids with their uncle. Yu explains that the only family they have are themselves, but Ayumi thinks there was one more in their family. Very interesting. After dinner, Yumi uses her telescope to look at the stars. Yu is not nice to Yumi, disregarding Yumi's interest in the stars and that no one will want to be friends with her if that's all she talks about. Dude, there's like anime dedicated to space. Like, there's gonna be like at least one student at her new school that's gonna love talking about space. I love talking about space, and I'm not even really in an age range, obviously, but I'll still sit down and have a nice conversation with her about what she spotted in space. So the Otasaka siblings move into their new apartment that has security guards and cameras at the front door. Very serious stuff. Ayumi is excited about the place and really wants to help move stuff into the place. And in the flashback, we learn that Yu explains to Yumi that he has to move due to his transfer to the new school and for everything that happened. But he can't say it's because he has a special ability. He can't go into certain areas without supervision. Yumi does thank Yu for saving her, but since they weren't dating, Yu's explanation of being dumped is all in his head. It's like he just mentally breaks. So now in Jujiro Takajo suddenly appeared in the apartment to help out with Yu and Ayumi moving in. Jujiro is absolutely ready to help. He's like taking off the top half of his uniform to reveal he was wearing something for moving furniture into new places in Japan. I don't know what they're called. I couldn't find it. And then Yu finds the delicious food. Well, delicious food sent by their uncle, but opens it to only find Kitsen ramen. Now shows her ability to Ayumi, which initially shocks her, but quickly turns into amazement. Yuta's now off for using her ability to play with Ayumi, but both now and Ayumi are immediately fed up with his negative energy. She's like, dude, don't be so negative. It's a bit of fun. What's wrong with that? After Now and Jujiro leave, the Otasaka siblings eat omurice while Haruharu play is on the TV. Ayumi is a massive fan of Haruharu and their lead singer Yusa Nishimori, whose nickname is Yusrin. At the end of the episode, Yu has a dream about his past, but there's someone he just doesn't seem to recognize. There's someone there that he probably knows, but doesn't recognize at all. But we can't go on about dreams. We're gonna get into the episode 2, which has you getting ready for school at Hashinomi Academy. I don't know why I keep putting that school. But Yumi is like, no, take lunch. Take this almond rice for lunch. Take this pizza sauce filled almond rice for lunch. At school now keeps up her video camera obsession, and she and Jujiro surprise you and give him the rundown of what's going on. Not every student has an ability, but still shows the potential to have an ability. In the past, children with abilities were caught and tested on by neuroscientists, and now would know since her big brother had it happen to him. Oh, that's not gonna... there's some trauma there. A mysterious person was behind the current system in place to protect children with abilities. The Student Council has a special mission to find those with abilities, to either bring them to the school for safety or to throw them to never use their power. In return for their work, the school council members do not get paid. Like they do get paid, like goons for hire. I don't know why I said do not get paid. And he introduces himself to the next class and it's typical cool guy shtick. Until he sees both now. He's like right at the front and Jujiro is in the seat right in front of him. And it's just like you asked Jujiro about now being a first year student and also being the student council president. Well, at this school, instead of grade determining who is the student council president, it goes by highest priority of how active someone is with their ability. And now is very active because, well, she literally can just hide from a singular person, and if she needs to hide from someone tracking her, she can. Jujiro and you head to the cafeteria to grab lunch, but since the cafeteria is full, Jujiro decides to use his ability to pay and grab them sandwiches. Well, after destroying the cafeteria with a sonic boom of destruction, Jujiro appears behind them once again, bleeding from the head, with glass shards just sticking out of his head, and 4 sandwiches. He was annoyed with what Jujiro grabbed and that they are smushed. But what do you expect from teleportation? I still stand by super speed. Because we literally, it has to be super speed because we see him able to drop money and grab the sandwiches. All in that one move that he does. So it has to be super speed, not teleportation. And also, the fact that he leaves destruction behind him when he does it is another evidence of super speed. Now is all alone due to what her ability does, and that if she used it in a social situation in lieu of required violent action, like if she's in a crowd and she wants to use it, it's not going to be useful at all. Her ability can't even work on surveillance cameras, so she would still get in trouble, so she can't even fight on school grounds. Of course that has to be a thing. Now walks over to them to mention that Conrad is coming, and Jujiro says they need to go to the student council room, and they give the most glorious shot of this room when you're first introduced to it. It feels like not even anime, it feels more like it could be CGI almost. It looks so cool. And it looks so amazing, and then a soaking wet student just walks in, from the halls, he's walking through the halls to the student council room, and you is shocked with how wet they are. Using a drop of water on a map, the comrade mentions the ability photography. The location in question is Number High School, So the three of them need to leave school early to do a stakeout over at the other school. So that, I guess that's one of the benefits of having an ability and being on the student council. You just get to do whatever you want. Over at Namber High School, now runs around asking questions about any rumours with her video camera. She's like running up to people like, it's like, why do you need the video camera now? It's like, there are moments where you don't need the video camera, and honestly, just running it up to people randomly is such a, Twitch or YouTube, but it's a social media thing that's just like, I'm gonna harass you with camera and ask you a question. Now then runs up to you to ask him to use his ability to check on someone suspicious. Chasing down the suspicious person, you possesses and empties the student's bag, followed by Jajira tackling the student. Turns out the student bought a photography photo from the student with the photography ability, Yudo. Heading to class 2E, they find out that Yudo is down at the school's archery range because he's the archery team captain. Yudo denies the photography accusation, but with video evidence of a ton of dirty photos coming from his locker. Dude, put that somewhere better than your locker. It's like, you has to give up the ghost. Yudo reveals his reason for such a business, and it's actually for the well-being of his parents. So he's doing bad things to help his family. It actually adds a bit of interest to it. It's it's like adds the layer of like, do you do something? It's like, is it wrong to do something bad if you're trying to use it for good? Yudo creates a picture of Yao and now in her lingerie, thinking it gives him the advantage. The situation turns into Yudo giving Nao a compliment, calling her beautiful. Yudo is suddenly possessed by you and just tosses the photo to Nao. So as a last-ditch effort, Yudo draws his bow on Nao to scare her off. Her anger causes Nao to accidentally fire the arrow, but Jajiro catches the arrow at the last second, literally, by the feathers, to save Nao. That explains what she explained to you earlier about how they're trying to keep him safe from more dangerous people. Later on, Yu is asking Nao what happened to her brother, and rather than telling them Nao, rather than just telling him, Nao just offers to take Yu to see her brother tomorrow. It's like, okay, she's just down with honesty. That's a good person right there. On the way to her brother, to where her brother is, Nao decides they need to buy Station Pacific lunches. I've never heard of Station Pacific lunches. But yeah, Nao's choice of Station Pacific lunch is a beef tongue bento box, and even eats on the train to other people's. Okay, now we need to work on your social skills. Because eating a hot food in a train is going to annoy some people. Especially if it's beef tongue. It's like, pick something that's not as disturbing. So on a bus, we learned that Nao's brother was the first one to have a special ability. Around the same time, Nao got into a a magnet school of a national university, which is literally her words, not mine. In a flashback to this moment, Nao's mum is happy she will get to learn to be an expert doctor, and Nao's brother is also happy for Nao's acceptance, and his band is also getting some recognition. Nao's brother gave her a Zen CD to listen to, saying the band is post-rock. It's like, Nao's like, I don't really listen to rock. And the brother was like, no, it's post-rock. I will say right now, they do not mention Nao's brother's name until episode, like, over halfway through the anime, actually. Like, episode 8. So, I tried to be like, when the name is revealed for the first time, that's when I add the name. I'm weird like that. Also, I want to just take a small tangent to talk about Zen, the band. I actually have listened to the music because this fictional band, like the fictional band's music was actually performed by, I don't know who, but the music is actually amazing. Probably the best music I've ever listened to. I listened to like so many of the songs in a row, and then I just sat, like, I was just sitting around for like nearly an hour, just silent, playing my game. So what I'm going to be doing is, for each of the episodes, because there's going to be 3 episodes on this, each one will have a link to one of the songs that I deem were important songs to mention in this episode, or in this series. Now can't go to the school since she got into, she couldn't go to the school she got into since her mum signed both her children into a boarding school. It's like, did you have to do both? You could have just done the brother. Her mum was so desperate to keep them safe that she groveled and begged for them to go to the school. It's like, oh, the parent groveling at their child's feet. It's just so sad to see. And at the boarding school, Nao did make friends, and also had to undergo examinations after class. It's very weird. But her friends distracted Nao from trying to find her brother, who we find out was turned into a test subject. His ability was being able to make air vibrate to his will, and he was using this ability to change the sounds of his guitar during live performances. And, of course, the scientists, in ever the money grubbing behaviour, wanted to use his ability for the military purpose of jacking airwaves or jamming communications. Like, why? It's like, there are so many other ways out there that you could do that, but you don't need the kids. It's like, yeah. I guess it's like jacking airways or jamming communications of other countries, which is also like, what the... The scientists were also ready for Nao's attempts to find her big brother, because all the friends she had were fake friends. They were all working with the scientists to keep her away from her brother. The tests done on Nao were because she had a high probability to also have an ability like her brother. However, Nao manages to escape the boarding school. Well, I can't even say it's a boarding school. It's literally an experiment place, like a lab, and found the one person she can trust. Heading to room 12, now you find Nell's brother tearing up his bed. He's tearing up the futon like he's playing the guitar. And now casually explains that her brother is composing music, that the grunts are the main melody line. And after he has some medication to calm down, all three head outside to the amazing view of the ocean. She was able to get this location for her brother through the one she can trust. All free of charge. It's like, oh cool, there's someone out there that's actually the nicest guy ever. And of course, no one is looking for a cure to these abilities. It's just like, you don't really need a party if you just let the kids be free and just tell them don't use their abilities. To the scientists, these kids with abilities are just barriers. Once they're out of power, just and get another one. It's like, that's not really how it works, considering they all have different abilities. And you finally returns home to Ayumi being upset that you got home so late, but suddenly happy to hear you is on the student council. Ayumi really needs to stop making dinner though, because she only uses pizza sauce. It's like, her main sauce is pizza sauce and only pizza sauce. Ayumi does her nightly skywatch and sees a comet. However, the comet Ayumi wants to see is a different one. Moving on to episode number 3. Ayumi is once again in the kitchen making almond rice, but Yu explains that he doesn't need to bring lunch since there's a cafeteria. Ayumi is still just like, take it. She's already made it, so just take it. Yu gets to the school in low spirits, so to cheer him up, Jojiro says he'll get the both of them limited edition beef tongue curry using his ability. The moment the bell rings, Jojiro uses his ability to just crash through the window, but he did get the curry. It's just like, Yu cheers up quickly upon the first taste of the curry, exclaiming that curry should be spicy. And heading up to the council office, the wet assistant helps again, and finding another ability user, this one seemingly having channeling. Now immediately knows it to be spiritualism, like Itakam shamans, who are blind women that train to be a spiritual medium. The person apparently also has a second ability of pyrokinesis. The location just seems to be an ordinary road, meaning the person is on the move in the middle of the school day. So they go to the location and walking down the alleyway, now spots a box that was slightly shifted, indicating the person in question was running down the alley and bumped the box. Continuing on, 2 sets of footprints are found, one with a short stride and one longer. Asking an older lady nearby, she mentions a supposed filming session of an idol being chased by a big guy. When the older lady mentions it was Yusurin, Jojiro is excited she's involved because he's a big fan of hers. Jojiro even knows Yusurin's history of how she started her idol journey in 6th grade, which was from winning the grand prize in the 14th edition of the fashion magazine Petite Banana. The next year, Yusurin got a job on a show called The Movement Morning as a regular member for 2 years. She then left the showbiz to focus on getting to high school, then restarted her showbiz career after getting into high school. This this idol is so active that even when she takes a break, she still gets work easily. Yu offers the idea they call Eucerin's agency, good idea, which is C-Rex Productions, but now shoots it down since agencies don't give up information on their clients. Now turns around to spot a suspect and chases him down only to get back in the face. Jeez, now. Now just getting backhanded so hard. Yu possesses the suspect. At the same time, Jojiro slams the suspect into the wall, injuring Yu in the process. So it's like he can take, like, if he gets hurt, he takes the damage. Now is more upset over the potential of the camcorder getting broken. It's like priorities now. The suspect reveals he's looking for Yusa Nishimori, but he just works for Taya TV. So that the target was absolutely injured, so they send the target off in an ambulance, and someone else approaches them to ask what they're doing. He's been watching them the entire time, and asks how they defeated the Taiyo TV worker. Now is honest about them having abilities, as the probability of him knowing Yusa having an ability is high, and proves that they have abilities by turning invisible. Apparently the situation with Yusa is, well, complicated. So, following Redhead to run down club spot, Jojiro now and Yu meet Yusarin, and Jojiro being the most he's absolutely excited because big fan. The guy asks about the 3 students Redhead brought with him, and he says they have abilities like Misa. Now directly asks Yusa about the whole Yusa-Misa situation. It's very weird. We learned that Yusa's real name is actually Yusa Kurobane, but since Kurobane, which means black feather in English, is not suitable for an idol, it's Kurobane is actually not a bad name for an idol. It's you can have your dark idol phase that's here's Kurobane, and then it's oh, she's changed and she becomes Nishimori. You could have that. You could have had that arc with her idol life. So yeah, they changed her last name to Nishimori. The doctors believe Yusa's sleepwalking might be because she has multiple personality disorder. So she talks to Yusa's protectors and tell them that Yusa's ability is to allow a dead person to possess her body. Through this power, Misa is able to take Yusa's place for a period of time. Beanie Guy reveals that Misa is actually Yusa's older brother and that she died 6 months ago. Misa sadly shows up in Yusa's body to kick Beanie Guy for telling now the truth, and then starts lighting the building on fire before turning off the fireworks. Turns out that Yusa can't call forth any spirit on her own will, and Misa controls both abilities. Although, I think it's more the fact that Yusa only thinks about Misa all the time. That's why Misa's the main one that comes forward. Although, she does have fire, which makes her very useful. The reason Yusa was being chased was over a phone she accidentally brought home from a shoot. It's she probably didn't even look at the phone. Although, she did. The phone had a text about using company money and connections to a dangerous crowd. Returning the phone will do nothing to protect Yusa's contract from being terminated, and taking it to the police will end Yusa's show business career as well. Now it appears to Misa's desire to save her little sister by suggesting they use the information to threaten the owner of the phone. It's like, if we can't do, if we don't have two options, we'll make a third one and threaten the guy. The first step of Nao's plan is to find a shop that sells white clothes to get fireproof clothing for Misa's friends. It's like, oh yeah, okay. Later that night, Kurobane organizes a meetup over the phone where Misa's friends take the place of two guards of the Taya TV producers. Like, they choke them out. Misa lights her two friends on fire to terrify the Taya TV producer. Yu possesses another guard to make it look like Misa is making the guard stab himself in the leg, and Yu gets hurt in the process. And Tajiro tackles another guard to make it look like she's like, whoa. Lastly, Nao kicks the producer to make it seem like Misa can air punch. It's like, like, they make Misa look like like the Avatar. That can also mind control. Misa is grateful for now protecting Yusa's job, of course. And after all that trouble, Nao is finally able to ask Kurobane to transfer to her school for, like, to Hoshinomi Academy for Yusa's safety, with the same explanation she gave to Yu and Udo. Redhead wants a moment alone with Misa to tell her that he loves her. Misa died in an accident while she and Redhead Sho, we learned his name is Sho, were riding a motorcycle together while Sho had middle injuries. Like, dude is so unlucky that he didn't, like, he probably wishes he was the one that died instead of her. Almost, I guess. Although that's my own interpretation. Yu returns home again to Ayumi shouting for being out late again. Ayumi is like started whiplash. It's like, Horizon on the TV, and then ecstatic to hear Yu has met Yusurin in person and wants to meet Yusurin herself. And she gives herself the classic double nosebleed. It's like, oh, there's a moment in the later episode that's just so funny. Moving on to, getting on to episode 4. And I will just say this right now. Someone needs to take Ayumi out of the kitchen. Pizza sauce flavored French toast is a food crime. It looks like you just splattered it with blood. Like, you need to do something about Ayumi's cooking skills. Unless, I think, yeah, Ayumi's actually not that bad of a cook, but just don't use the pizza sauce. Anyway, let's get to the school. All the boys at the school are excited to have Yusurin transfer into the school today. The moment Yusa introduces herself as Yusa Kurobane, I always say Bane, but it's Bane, to the class, all the boys go crazy, like, whoa! And I think even the girls are like, whoa! After the class, students crowd around her desk to ask questions and talk about her work. Two students start fighting because one asks to be Yusurin's friend, which Yusa does her making up spell, which is Yusurin's magic spell series number 13, according to Jijiro. Apparently there's 64 spells in Yusurin's magic spell series, but 2 overlap, so there's actually 63. Not much. Now tells Yusa that the student council needs her at the student council room to help find the next ability user. The wet helper walks in to point out where the next person is, obviously surprising Yusa because it's always a surprise the first time. The next person they're searching for has the ability telekinesis and goes to Kanai Academy. Now Ori knows exactly who they are searching for. A student with a super talent in baseball. She even has video footage of the student using his ability to look good at pitching and capturing how the student is holding the ball like a straight ball, which is like this, instead of knuckleball, which is like an index. It's like, I wish I had a ball here to actually do it with. I have an egg, which is close enough. It's like it's like sort of like that sort of shape. Like, now says they need to get to the student before the qualifiers for going to Koshien. It is actually, like, Koshien is a real thing. It's a big baseball event between schools. And they need to get there before those start. Immediately cutting over to Kanai Academy, now get straight to the point and ask if the student is using telekinesis to throw knuckleballs. Now says that if the student is aiming to go pro, his ability will be gone by then, and also if someone notices that he has his ability, scientists might try to go after him. Now then shows her ability, and Misa decides she wants to ban the student to stop him from using his ability. Ultimately now decides that a game of baseball should be played between the two schools to get the student to stop using his ability. However, Hashinomi's Nami Academy's baseball team, despite having special abilities amongst them, don't have anyone that can counteract student Arafumi's knuckleballs. So with that, the baseball game starts up. And Arafumi says this game is for the future to his friend, Takato. Kanai Academy's team can't even hit the ball, which now says out loud to the pitcher's annoyance. To calm the pitcher down, Yusa performs a calming spell, Yusarin's magic spell series 9. Arafumi then steps up to pitch, really flexing his telekinesis ability. Arafumi hits the ball in the direction of Yusa, but Misa takes over and catches the ball perfectly. Now decides they finally need to use their abilities to make the last two batters swing wildly and miss the ball. During the last inning, Takato decides to run for home base and makes it to secure 1 point. So we're at, there's been 0 points so far throughout the whole game. And, Arafumi's gotten the first point on the board. Now tells Jujiro to use his ability after hitting the ball to reach first base. And he manages to pull it off. Now shows the ref Jujiro did touch first base on her finger. It's just everyone there is not even going to question how he got over to a wall so fast. It's Jujiro got so injured from the concrete wall that he slammed into that the anime had to blur his face. He ate it. Misa shows she can hit Arafumi's knuckleball and makes it to first base. with now referencing Ichiro Suzuki, a famous Japanese baseball player. Now says she'll be doing a sacrifice bunt for one base hit and walk off, leaving you to be the one that has to hit Arafumi's knuckleball. After 2 strikes, you start hitting foul after foul. Even one almost hitting like his own team in the heads. But like Arafumi's like, oh, this kid's catching on, like, figuring out the ball that he's doing. So Arafumi overplays his ability, causing Takano to fumble the ball. Running from second base to home, Misa manages to secure the second point needed to win, since second and third base had runners. So Misa was like, does the whole dive for it thing and makes it. As per the deal, Arafumi is no longer allowed to use his ability. But Arafumi wasn't being selfish with his ability. He wanted to highlight his friend's skill. He was doing it to support his friend and not as a cheater. Now asks you to take over Arafumi's body as a small experiment. She's not sure of the results of this test, but thinks results will appear soon enough. And Yu returns home to a cream stew full of broccoli. It's like, oh, it should be white. Nah, it's just pizza sauce. It's red. It's red. And as the new typical event, Ayumi faints after learning Yuzurin did transfer to Hashinomi Academy. It's like, Ayumi's just going through all the emotions that a little kid would be going through. But cream stew full of broccoli with pizza sauce. You need to take that pizza sauce and run. Get it away from Ayumi as fast as possible. Oh my god. Okay. On that, that's the end of episode 4. Links are going to be in the description to both my channels and also my Twitch page, because I am actually going to be starting some Twitch streaming action over there on, well, actually this will be going up after the first ever stream. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm hoping to do a lot of gaming over there, make recording a lot easier as well. Anyways, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so no next video comes out. A ding, a ding. I'm the Mad Scientist. Mad Scientist out.